बहुत बहुत बधाई। गुरपूरब की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। I feel very blessed to be narrating today all Guruji's kalyans. जैसे वो कहते थे, जो बोलता है उसका भी भला और जो सुनता है उसका भी भला। दोनों तरफ मेरी ब्लेसिंग्स चल रही होती हैं और वो पता करना तुम्हारा काम नहीं, तुम अपनी ब्लेसिंग्स लो। तो 1995 में हमें बताया गया कि कोई बाबा आया है और वो क्योर करते हैं, और बिल्कुल हमें विश्वास नहीं हुआ कि ये कैसे हो सकता है। और उस समय दवाइयों का काम था, तो बिल्कुल भी विश्वास नहीं हुआ कि ऐसे कैसे कोई क्योर कर सकता है। मेरा बेटा बहुत छोटा था उस टाइम, और मैं इसीलिए गुरुजी के पास गई थी कि उसको हर महीने बुखार आता था, और बुखार की वजह से वो बहुत डिस्कम्फर्ट ख्याल था कि मैं भी इससे छुटकारा पाऊं। सो गुरुजी, उस जमाने में कोई मंदिर की कोई स्थापना नहीं थी, वो जलंधर अपने डेरे से आए थे और उन्होंने एक जगह ली थी जहां पे वो लोगों का कल्याण कर रहे थे। वो कहीं लेके गए और वहां पे एक कमरे में वो चले गए, जबकि सारी संगत बाहर बैठी हुई थी। और मैंने सोचा यहाँ तो सब जमीन पे बैठे हैं, मैं तो बैठ ही नहीं पाऊंगी, मेरा तो बिल्कुल भी जमीन पे बैठा ही नहीं जाएगा मुझसे। तो मैं एक कोने में जाके खड़ी हो गई, और कुछ टाइम बाद गुरुजी सीधा मेरी तरफ आए और मुझे इशारे से उन्होंने बोला खड़े होने को। जब मैं खड़ी हुई तो मुझे बोला 10 मतलब बता। मैंने कहा जी मेरा मुंडा मतलब मेरा लड़का। उन्होंने बोला उसकी छोड़, अपनी बता, तेरे को क्या प्रॉब्लम है। मैंने कहा जी मेरी टांगें बहुत दर्द करती हैं। कहते हैं यहाँ इतनी देर से तू बैठी रही, तुझे दर्द हुई, आज के बाद नहीं होगी। और 28 साल हो गए, वो दर्द कभी लौट के वापस नहीं आए। गुरुजी को थैंक यू बोलने जलंधर उनके डेरे गए, तो वहां पे उन्होंने द्वार बंद कर रखा था, सिर्फ जिनको गुरुजी परमिशन देते थे उन्हीं को अंदर बुलाया जाता था। एक सेवक थे। उस दिन गुरुजी ने हुक्म दिया कि तुम दिल्ली वापस मत जाओ, अभी रुको। तो जब अगली सुबह जब हम आए तो ना गुरबानी के कोई शब्द लगे हुए थे जो कि नॉर्मली लगते थे, ना ही कोई भजन चल रहे थे जो कि लगते थे। और जब हम अंदर आए तो देखा कि कोई भी नहीं था मंदिर में। और उस दिन गुरुजी ने काफी सारी बातें बताई हमारे पास्ट के बारे में, फैमिली के बारे में। हमने उनको कुछ भी नहीं बताया, बट ही न्यू ही कुड ऑल्सो रीड माइंड्स। आपके मन में क्या चल रहा है, आप क्या सोच रहे हैं। अगर उनकी मौज होती थी तो वो बोल भी देते थे। उस दिन गुरुजी एक लंगर की थाली लेकर आए और उन्होंने दिया, तो मैंने देखा कि बहुत सारी हैं। मैंने उठा के आई रिटर्न इट टू हिम एंड आई सेड एक्सक्यूज मी बट आई हैव ओनली वन। सो ही टुक ऑल ऑफ देम। जोर से उन्होंने थाली पे रखी और बोला ईट दिस, इट इज योर मेडिसिन। तो उस दिन गुरुजी ने ये भी समझाया कि जो आपकी लंगर की थाली में आता है आपको फिनिश करना है और आपको वो ग्रहण करना है। और उसके बाद he told us many things and एक बात ये भी थी कि जब मेरे पास आते हो तो जूते बाहर उतार के आते हो, अपनी इंटेलिजेंस भी बाहर रख के आया करो, उसका यहाँ कोई काम नहीं, क्योंकि यहाँ सिर्फ मेरी ब्लेसिंग्स चलती हैं, यहाँ कुछ भी साइंटिफिक नहीं चल रहा। और एक बार उन्होंने ये भी बोला कि हार्ड मास का मतलब हड्डी और मांस का मैं सामने बैठा हूं, लोगों ने इंसान ही समझ लिया, बहुत बाद में उनको समझ आएगी कि मैं क्या हूं। So he had a lot of powers. He could cure anybody. He could cure anybody at the level he desired. And ये उन्होंने कभी भी हिसाब किताब बयान नहीं किया, अनलेस कि उनकी कभी मौज आई और उन्होंने कुछ कुछ बोल दिया हो Otherwise किसी इंसान को ये नहीं पता कि गुरुजी क्या करते हैं, कैसे करते हैं और किस हिसाब से करते हैं. So the Guru knows it all and he's omnipresent. He had already stated कि संगत बढ़ेगी, meaning the people coming into his fold will increase. So we used to joke at that time with him and we used to say, Guruji कैसे बढ़ेगी? इतने सारे लोग आते हैं और आप उनको बोलते हो कि जाके बोल दो गुरुजी नहीं है, और आप कहते हो कि संगत बढ़ेगी, तो कैसे बढ़ेगी? So he said, नहीं, बढ़ती चली जाएगी, तुम देखना, बढ़ती ही चली जाएगी. गुरुजी का कोई भी सेट रूल नहीं है except for the prayer to the Almighty. So unless he has stated otherwise or specified something to someone, that is different. Otherwise, his general rule was that you pray to the Almighty and you do not have any go-betweens. जो भी गुरुजी सिलेक्ट करते थे, जिनको भी सिलेक्ट करते थे उस जमाने में कि आप नरेशन बताइए आपके ऊपर और आपकी फैमिली, उसके बाद उनका काम खत्म. It is the direct connection, and these were the words Guruji had used. He had said, मेरे साथ direct connection जोड़ो. And then the direct connection is very, very simple. All you have to do is just mentally connect with him. You talk to him. Whatever you want to say, you say it to the Guru. You do not say it to any human being. They can't help you. Maybe they can give you moral support. Maybe they can suggest something for you. But ultimately, it's the Guru who's going to do it. So he had very simple rules. What he had just said was, ये लंगर और ये चाय प्रसाद, इसमें मेरी blessings हैं और इसको पूरा ग्रहण करना चाहिए, इसको जरा सा भी छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि तुम्हें नहीं पता कि मैं तुम्हें क्या bless कर रहा हूं. So at times, even if a person had something in mind that Guruji, this is what the issue is in my mind, he would be blessing us for totally something different. Because he knew what was right for us. He knew what we would require or we should be blessed with. We are humans. We don't really know about ourselves as to how much we need or what we need. So Guruji knew it all and he is continuously doing it for all of us even today. There were so many who were non-believers. Guruji still blessed them. Nobody went empty-handed from Guruji. He had said this. He said, "Mere kol jo aanda hai, wo kadi bhi khali nahi janda. Whoever comes to me does not go back empty-handed." He has definitely poured something or the other into the blessings which he has given those people. My father was told that he had lymphoma 28 years back, and he was also not given much time beyond a few months. And I went with my husband to Guruji and I wanted to tell him, because I knew he could cure. I had seen so many people get well around him who had come. So I was having this in my mind that I want to speak it out to Guruji, and those were the times when you could take permission and you could speak it out. So I went. I could not say a word. Guruji just made us have langar and sent us away. After about a week, he rang us up and he told us, "Kahin मैं bless करने जा रहा हूँ किसी के घर, तो तुम मेरे साथ चलो." And we went there. And I saw that it was somebody's housewarming. So everybody was making merry and Guruji was also laughing and joking with everybody. While at this time, my father was in hospital. So I was not in that frame of mind to, join into that merrymaking. So I went and sat at the back and Guruji called me and he signaled me to sit next to him. I sat there quietly, and he just looks at me and he says, I have cured your father's cancer. I didn't even say the words. I didn't say anything, even though each report of my father showed cancer, lymph glands cancer, lymphoma. Very soon, my father's reports started showing something which was not cancer, and it just changed. It's just my father had a loss of memory, and again we went to Guruji. This time Guruji said, "Kale chane prabha kar do, immerse black gram in water." Well, nothing happened for 2 days, and we went back to Guruji, and then he said, "Chane prabha nahi hoye, dobara karo." The plastic packet in which the chanas were not opened. The knot was left tied, and it just slipped out of somebody's hand and went into the water. So they were not immersed in water. Once it was done, my father revived his memory, and to this day, he is having a very good memory, and he is living his old age. Guruji had blessed my mom also, and she was holding a report which was disastrous according to my and Guruji again blessed her, and he had said, "Teri maan nu bacha detta hai main," and she was saved at that time. So Maharaj had different ways of curing people. He had different ways of giving blessings from the little that we perceived. I was told to have no darshan for 5 years. And for 5 years, I was not allowed to view him in a photograph or not allowed to meet him at all. And he said, "I will let you know after 5 years." So after those 5 years, I just prayed to him in my mind. I said, "Guruji, I'm not going to ask anybody for a photograph, but you please send me one. I don't know how you would do it." It was a very small thing to ask your Guru. But never before and never after has he ever been, he's never gone in print. And this was a photograph which came out in the only magazine which my husband took. And there was an article on Guruji. I took that photograph and I put it in my bedside drawer. And I was waiting for the time that he would call me. I just came back from work in the afternoon one day, and I was asphyxiated. I couldn't breathe in, breathe out properly. I just told Guruji, "I cannot breathe." And that photograph was Guruji himself. I felt a strange sensation at the back of my neck, but then I felt as if somebody has given me the breath of life. I was still taken to the hospital as a formality by my family members. And over there with the oxygen mask over my nose, I just asked the nurse, where was I? So she said, ICCU. I just thought to myself, जब मेरा अंत आया, ना मेरा घर वाला काम आया, ना मेरे माँ प्यो, ना मेरे बच्चे, ना कोई हो, सिर्फ मेरा गुरु काम आया. Because I had called out to all of them. I had just rung them up and said, "I can't breathe." When I stood in front of Guruji, when it was time that I was back, he just smiled and he said, "Kyun fir na karwala kam aaya, na maa pyo, na bacche, na koi aur. Sir tera guru kam aaya, le teri second life tu aish kar." He knew, even after 5 years, what I was thinking in my mind. He knew what I needed at that particular moment in my life. And he then told a doctor, "Mar challi thi, maine bachaya." So I have no doubts about anything. No doubts at all. Whatever he did out of his kindness, and that was the blessing that he gave me, this breath of life that I'm alive today. He had said, "Guru अपनी कमाई से इतने सालों के भेजे होते हैं, युगों युगों का तप होता है उनका, अगर गुरु चाहे तो वो अपनी कमाई में से किसी को भी निकाल के दे सकता है और उसकी लाइफ एक्सटेंड कर सकता है, लेकिन ये हुक्म परमात्मा से सिर्फ सद्गुरु को होता है। और वो सद्गुरु वो होता है जिसका लोगों का मर्ज लेने का दम हो, मतलब वो लोगों की जो बीमारियां हैं वो अपने ऊपर खींच के उसको क्योर कर सकते हैं। इसे अलग अलग लेवल होते हैं सेंट्स के, उनका काम ये होता है कि वो लोगों का मार्गदर्शन करें, लेकिन हर एक में ये शक्ति नहीं होती कि वो लोगों का मर्ज, लोगों की डिजीजेस ठीक कर सके। That Sadguru is of the highest level, according to Guruji, as stated by him to me. He was very jovial. At times, he would joke about anything that was happening in your life. And if he so chose, he could just tell you things which were very ordinary. Like I was talking to my mother one day over the phone, and when I went to Guruji in the evening in the Sabha, he called me and he narrated word to word what I was speaking to my mother about, and where I went and what all we did and how we enjoyed ourselves. So this was not told to Guruji, but he knew it all and he narrated it. So there were times like this where, he would just disclose as to how much he knows that is happening in your life. You need not say anything because he knows, like I said, he knows it all. When Guruji would, see a movie, it was not as if he was going there for his enjoyment to see a movie as we humans do. I was told once that when I see any human being on the screen, I can see that person literally. I need not go to him or the person need not come to me. I can cure that person through the screen. So anyone in a particular movie, which Guruji had seen, he has screened their lives. And sometimes he used to mention a few things about what he had done. And basically it was that there was no barrier for him to cure. He could go to any country, sitting in one place, he could cure any human being in any particular region of the world. And that was something which, when I first heard about it, I was very much, I was not really surprised, but yes, putting it down right in front of me, that was what, it was a little amazing that, yes, what I was thinking, he was actually now telling me, and those were the things which he could do, he can do. So it is just the connection which you need, the connection which you need in all ups and downs of life. Life, like Guruji said, life is not easy. Life is not easy because there are so many factors which are playing upon all of us. Every particular phase of our lives, every particular incident that is taking place in our lives, everything has an effect on something else also. So that is how prayer comes into play, and that is how Guruji takes us forward, that he is like a protective shield. He is also the guide who tells us exactly how to move forward. This is my personal experience with Guruji, and I can only share my own. So my Guru is there, our Guru is very much there for all of us, and we only have to reach out. He's already there. His words were, जे मेरे कोल एक कदम लेके भी कोई आंदा है, मैं 100 कदम उदे कोल चल के आना. So one step of ours and 100 of his as stated again by Guruji himself. All of you are very blessed to be in his fold and always be there. Keep the faith. Anything happening in our lives is going to be sorted out by Guruji Maharaj. Thank you so much for listening. Jai Guruji Maharaj.
Jai Guruji, it was such a beautiful satsang you have shared. And कुछ आप कुछ मेमोरीज जैसे गुरुपुरब के दिन आप गए होंगे दरबार में,
हाँ जी,
और बर्थडे क्योंकि अभी भी गुरुजी का बर्थडे हुआ है, तो
हाँ जी.
इसकी लाइक
Yeah. Whenever there was cake cutting on Guruji's birthday, of course, and Guruji would always smile like it was the brightest smile I had seen, and he would cut the cakes, whether they were one, whether they were two. He would cut all the cakes, and then all of us would get a piece, and he would make us dance. And like he said once that jab main ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ dance ਕਰਾਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪੂਰੀ body ਦਾ x-ray ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ where it is malfunctioning and I cure. So dance is just not a form of merrymaking, it is a form of cure also. Made me dance at the same song 3 times. It was played over and over and over again, and it was very heavenly. That's all I can say. It was really heavenly. So वो भी एक form of prayer है. So, and of course on the big days when Guruji had he used to take all of us to the Bada Mandir on these big days. Big days meaning like Mahashivratri, Guruji's birthday, and Vaisakhi and the other days. So when we used to go, we used to wait literally कि Guruji की गाड़ी कब आएगी. Guruji की गाड़ी जब आती थी, it was जैसे कोई शहंशाहों के शहंशाह आ रहे हैं, and he would come and sit on his सिंहासन and पूरी संगत को like वो bless करते थे. It was आप कहीं भी खड़े हो मंदिर में, कहीं भी आप बरांडे में हो या बाहर हो या उस दायरे में जब आप हैं तो आप blessed हैं, आप बहुत बहुत blessed हैं. And अपने हाथ से जब गुरुजी प्रसाद बांटते थे तो that was again, it was, उसको मैं बयान नहीं कर सकती वो कितना heavenly feeling होती थी. It was very very nice. So yes, again then काफी टाइम फिर गुरुजी रोकते थे सारों को और सब बहुत ही एंजॉय करते थे. और गुरु की तो जो उनका ऑरा, जो उनका पूरा एक the whole रूहानियत was, I really have no words to explain, but it was like I saw God through him. I saw God. So it was ऐसा गुरु मैंने कभी नहीं देखा. He was so selfless, so selfless. All the robes that you see, everything was blessed and passed on to people as prasad. जो गुरु जी ने कभी अपने लिए कुछ पर्सनल उन्होंने ग्रहण नहीं किया. आपने जो भी देखा, चाहे वो उनके वस्त्र हो, चाहे वो उनके चरण, चाहे उनकी कोई पहनी हुई चीज, it used to be blessed and passed on to whosoever he wanted to pass it on to as a blessing, as a blessing. अपने लिए तो कुछ भी नहीं उनके पास था, कुछ भी नहीं रखा. And he was very simple. आप जितने भी बेड्स देखते हैं और आप जितना भी देखते हैं, गुरुजी तो जमीन पे सोते थे. He was एक पतली सी चादर बिछा के, और he just used to be on the floor. He was so simple, so divine. और हर जना, it's like I feel that one really does not need any sort of you know, जो बेसिक्स होती हैं जिंदगी की, वो उन्होंने हमें सिखाई. हमें इंसान है, कभी कभी इंसान naturally you try to follow everything that he said, everything that he asked us to do, and उसी में पूरा वही आनंद है. And whatever he had said came true for us. He had predicted, he had stated, he had given certain things as a blessing. I am sitting in the blessing today. And at that time, I used to think it is impossible, but now he made it possible. And it is Guru की बात ये थी कि गुरुआं दी गल पत्थर दी लकीर होंदी है, for this particular thing that he had said. And sure enough, पत्थर की लकीर थी. I feel very, very, very blessed that मुझे ना चीज को उन्होंने कुछ ड्यूटी सौंपी और मैं वो कंप्लीट कर पाई, और वो भी उन्होंने ही कराया, मेरे तो बस का था ही नहीं. तो आगे भी वो ही लेके जाएंगे. He would be blessing. He would be blessing. And there was this funny incident that I remember now. Once we had gone somewhere, and वहाँ पे एक किसी की दुकान में गुरुजी लेके गए, और उनकी शॉल की दुकान थी. तो गुरुजी ने उनसे बोला कि ये वाली कितने की है. So it was exorbitant. And Guruji asked me, he said, इसको बोल रेट कम करेगा. So I told him, I said, आप ये रेट कम करिए. So the gentleman obliged a little bit, but फिर भी वो बहुत ज्यादा था. तो गुरुजी ने फिर बोला कि इसको बोल रेट कम करे. I just thought in my mind that कुछ टाइम पहले गुरुजी ने किसी को कुछ हुक्म दिया था, किसी और दुकान वाले को, और उन्होंने कम करा था. तो गुरुजी ने बाहर आके मुझे बोला कि इसने जो कम किया है ना, इसको 100 गुना मैं दूंगा. So I just thought in my mind, okay, fine, this guy is going to now reduce it, and Guruji is going to bless him 100 times. So Guruji taps me and he says, इसको सिर्फ 10 गुना. So that time it was like मैं जो सोच रही हूँ, वो गुरुजी के आगे एक खुली किताब है मेरा दिमाग, और वो he could read my mind and he could tell me. So there were instances like this. Then he went once with us to some place which was in a very old market of Delhi, and he said, यहाँ पे एक बहुत पुराने जलेबी वाले हुआ करते थे, old famous जलेबी वाला हुआ करता था. So I said, हाँ जी गुरुजी, but his shop was closed that day. And later we told him that Guruji Maharaj had come. And there was this instance of we going into another shop where it was a very small, tiny shop where a lot of quilts were there and quilt material was there. जैसे शनील का कपड़ा होता है, वो पुराना कवर्स का कपड़ा होता है, उस टाइप की उनकी दुकान थी, लेकिन मटेरियल काफी पुराना भी लग रहा था. और इट वाज लाइक यू नो, इट वाज बहुत सारा उनका माल वहां पड़ा हुआ था. तो गुरुजी ने वहां बैठ के मुझे बोला कि चाय प्रसाद इनको बोलो कि मंगवाएं. So I just asked the sevak over there, I said, भैया यहाँ कहीं चाय मिलेगी? So he said, जी वो सामने वाली दुकान में ना वो चाय बनाता है. So we got tea in paper cups, and Guruji distributed to every helper of the shop, and we also had it as prasad. And then Guruji told him कि माल निकालना शुरू करो. तो उन्होंने माल निकाला. Then Guruji pointed to the top. He said, उधर से भी निकालो. वाला माल भी निकला. वो जो माल निकालते थे गुरुजी छू के उसको दूसरी तरफ फेंक देते थे. फिर वो माल निकालते थे. He would again do the same. So by the time the entire shop was like, you know, on that table जो सामने उनके था. And then he said, चलो चलिए. After a while, my husband met up with that man on the road, and he said, आपके साथ वो जो आए थे वो कौन थे? तो my husband said, जी आपको बताया तो था हमारे गुरुजी थे. हाँ लेकिन ये कुछ और ही थे, क्योंकि मेरी दुकान इतने टाइम से चलती नहीं थी और मुझसे कितने लोग पर्चियां मुझे दे के पैसा मुझसे लेके चले गए, कभी उन्होंने मेरा पैसा लौटाया नहीं. घर में मेरी इतनी गत थी, इतनी बुरी हालत थी कि मेरे बच्चे मुझसे तू तू करके बात करते थे और कोई भी मेरा रिस्पेक्ट नहीं था घर में मेरे. तो उसके बाद जैसे ही ये गए हैं मेरी दुकान से, अगले दिन से मेरा सब कुछ ठीक होने लग गया. जो पर्चियां, जो लोगों ने मुझे पैसे देने थे, वो खुद आ के मुझे पैसे दे रहे हैं कि जी आपके ये पैसे देने थे, आप प्लीज ये रखिए. और उसके बाद फिर बच्चे भी बहुत रिस्पेक्टफुली बात करने लग गए, घर में इज्जत लग गई, खुशहाली आ गई और दुकान चल पड़ी. तो ये तो कोई और ही है, ये साधारण नहीं है. So yes, Guruji was not sadharan. Guruji had very simple ways of blessing people, whatever we can see. होता है. Instead of just sheer wastage, one can, you know, provide livelihood for others. So according to Guruji, he had said ये बहुत पुण्य का काम होता है. कल्याण उनके इतने हैं कि I think टाइम का पता ही नहीं चलता. So wishing all of you a happy Gurupurnima, and stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy. Jai Guruji Maharaj.